Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Four Sides of the Ring. It's Justin and Casey, and we're here to talk about Raw tonight. From Monday night in Glasgow. Ended up being pretty eventful. We started the night with John Cena.
Yes, we did.
Well, he had something to say, that's for sure. You know, he came out talking, he's talking horrible people and his 25 years that he's been through, the abusive relationship stuff again. He even brought that poor little kid back into it. I shouldn't say poor little kid, that lucky little kid.
Hey, that kid even came out stating he knows his character, and he loves Cena anyway.
But the important part,
well, he also went into detail of how he created a toy belt with the spinner. And that he was going to basically take his ball and go home with it. So his plans are to win the title, take the title, and go home with it.
Go home.
And that's about where Cody decides to interrupt the entire situation and comes out to tell Cena, basically he says he made a mistake by thinking he was different, when in reality he is the same, but probably the most dangerous he has ever been. And tells Cena that basically you're telling the people you're going to take the belt and go home with it, but you need to take it from me first. And then tells him to take it from him now, and lays the belt down and gets ready for a brawl. And at that point, that's where Cena decides to fake him out and leave the ring.
So, that's 2 weeks now that Cena really hasn't said anything to Cody.
I think at this point, Cena's no longer trying to be the microphone master that he is. I think he's choosing the character of himself rather than, who he's been for the last 25 years. Because let's face it, he's being a lot more serious. He's not coming out like he used to. He's walking. He's being quiet. He's being, downright abusive to the crowd. No better word for it. He is basically saying that for the last 25 years, he has watched, he has learned, and it has made us, the fans, predictable. Because he even goes down that path of doing a mellow tone listing of things to where people started going, what, and then lays it out going, if I keep talking like this, doing this, you're going to keep saying what? So he's basically showing that he has been the top dog in this business for a reason. He's basically showing that he's no longer going to play into the people's hands, which, let's face it, we've all been wanting him to do what he does, be the mic master and try and outshine Cody. But he's not going to do that because the old John would, where he'd be doing it to help put Cody over. Well, he's not going to do that no more.
We'll see how it goes.
I think his character's going down the path exactly needed.
Because he's got one more appearance next week that's scheduled before WrestleMania. So they'll have another promo next week. See what goes on. And I know a lot of people have been saying too that WWE is protecting Cody from John by doing it this way. And I'm like, no.
There's
No.
If they were protecting Cody, Cody wouldn't be allowed to go down to the ring.
Cody is
especially not allowed to go down, lay the belt down, and say, "Come on, bring it, bitch."
He is not in need of protection
and
from John Cena.
Personally, I don't think any wrestler out there would even be okay with that, because you're a wrestler. If you can't take the hits, be it promo-wise or fist-wise, you're in the wrong business.
Right.
So if you have to sit there and go, "Oh, we got to protect Cody," well then, Cody, you might need to rethink your options on what you do for a living, which we all know that ain't Cody. Cody relishes people to come into his face.
He doesn't back down from anything.
The Rock found that one out last year when he slapped Cody across the face and Cody returned it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's another point. So the guys rating this brings up the irony of the guy who plays Peacemaker in the TV series of the same name complaining about the crowd using profanity was hilarious. Now, I'm pretty sure Peacemaker's pretty profane in his language. So that's kind of funny.
Yeah, I like Peacemaker.
And the fact that we're about to get a whole nother week of them pulling this kid in because John went and pointed it out again. I mean, let's face it, we're going to definitely see a whole nother week of this kid and names.
So it brings up the question, does John win the belt?
I think I'm still going with yes. I think that's the way the story is going, because he still has a minute before he can retire. And so John's plan is to carry that belt until he retires and leaves with it. But that's going to drive every other wrestler like Randy Orton, CM Punk, anyone else to come after John, to stop him from leaving with that belt. Because John's going to try and make a mockery of that title and tell him that you get to...
We're going to see the return of the spinner belt.
Oh, God. Please don't. That was probably the dumbest belt I ever saw.
Yeah,
like, I get it's John's creativity, and that's great and all. But that was probably... I'm kind of on Edge's side with that. Like, Edge was supposed to win the spinner belt from Cena. They tell him, hell, go create a belt. We're going to make you, it different now. Well, what they forgot to tell him was, no, we're just changing the spinner plate. It's not going to be a different belt. It's going to be just the spinner plate. Which was dumb, because I had drawn up this cool looking belt for the Rated R Superstar. And they're like, oh no, you're just getting the spinner plate. So, and I'm sorry, but a lot of wrestlers didn't like John making that thing into a spinner belt. Because he did it with the U.S. title too, and had his feud with JBL, where JBL throws it in the trash after Shelton Benjamin wins it and pulls out the old U.S. title. So at that point, no, I think John's gonna win it. I think he's gonna try and carry it to retirement, but I think now you're gonna see a reason why CM Punk, Randy Orton, all these guys that want to face John before he retires are gonna come for him, which will make the story believable. They're gonna try and do everything they can to stop him from leaving with the belt. And then by SummerSlam, Cody's gonna get his shot again and come destroy him, or Randy's gonna have his shot and destroy him and take that belt back.
That's true. We do have to build up pretty heavily to SummerSlam this year, so
like, I can't remember. Is this supposed to be his last WrestleMania, or is next WrestleMania his last WrestleMania?
John's?
Yeah.
No, this is it.
This is last, so when's he gone?
He's end of 2025.
So that will be how many PLEs before 2025's out?
So you got SummerSlam.
You got Backlash. Backlash is before SummerSlam.
Yeah, Backlash, SummerSlam. You got, Crown Jewel, Money in the Bank, and...
So he's got a handful.
I mean, he's got a handful. I can't remember.
But we don't even know if he's scheduled for a lot of those ones.
I would assume he'd be around for PLEs, especially if he's going to be champion. But yeah, he said he's done in the end of the year. So,
yeah. So okay.
So this
is his last WrestleMania.
Everything he's doing, he's on his last.
So let's face it, he can take the belt, make the story even better going down the path, making it to give reason to where CM Punk, Orton, AJ Styles, all these top guys are coming for him to stop him.
Yeah.
Because what's a better reason than you're going to take that belt and you're going to leave with it. Now we're going to stop him. The fact that he called out Ric Flair, too, let's bring that one up. Because Ric Flair has not been quiet about the fact that his record's about to be broken. He has literally said he will run down the arena through the crowd, go through security, which good luck, and get to Cena to stop him. Like, Ric Flair's not happy that this is going to happen. So I can't wait to see anything from Ric Flair on the fact that he just got called the fuck out. Because he did. He got called the fuck out.
Well, Rick, you better come join us for this.
He ain't.
All right. Well, that moves us on to the Usos and A-Town Down Under.
Well, no. Technically, we started with just Jay. Not knowing who his partner was. Which, let's face it, if you didn't guess... At first, my guess would have been CM Punk.
Well, I guess.
But honestly, it makes it only right that his brother came. Which I liked that. He comes out and it wasn't even all of a sudden Jimmy's music starts playing. He just comes out bouncing right behind Jimmy. Or Jay.
It was good to see him back together.
And Jimmy definitely, we'll get further into it. But Jimmy's definitely there to back his brother up. This was the match we didn't get last week. Let's face that right now. Yes, there he got pinned again. But it was a much more in-depth and better match. And I almost want to say that's why they made it the very first match of the night. So they didn't have to cut anything from it. If they needed to cut something, they could cut it down the path. I mean, but it was good, though. You almost want to think that maybe they told John, hey, let's not carry this promo along. Get what you need said. Told Cody, same thing, get it said. Last week screwed us up. Because John didn't even let the crowd destroy him this round. Last week he did. This week it was, is there something y'all want to say? Seems like you want to talk to me about something. So it was a much better match than what we got last week. And Jimmy and Jay you just definitely saw that old spark of, just what they were, which was one of the top tag teams. And I don't get me wrong, I love their singles run, but I'd definitely love to see them go tag team some more in the future again. But I think they need this single run.
They need single. Well, I mean,
Jay in particular.
I'm still on the Jay bandwagon. I think he's got the
I think he's winning. And with the rumors I've been hearing, a lot of people are wondering if this is mind games. That every move he's made has been part of his strategy. So him accidentally botching his jump that he has made, they've even stated this, made it thousands of times. and now he messed up, and he's not living it down. And then he went to do the spear, slipped and tripped. But now, like, the rumor is he's doing it on purpose because now he's reassuring Gunther, making Gunther think, yeah, you're screwed. So now Gunther's building his own pedestal higher than it should be, and then all of a sudden going to get a whole different Jay come WrestleMania.
I think that's the truth. Like, I think we're gonna get a whole different Jay come WrestleMania, much more intense and much more focused.
And I think this was all just part of the act, even later on in the show, which we'll get into. But right now, because let's face it, until Gunther came out, Jay was on his A game the entire match. I mean, if you want to call it that, let's face it, it was B game. He didn't really have to kill himself, but he was on top of everything, every move, every dial. Even when Austin tagged Waller and slipped down off the ring, and he went and speared Waller, and then all of a sudden, Theory comes to try and surprise him. Jay immediately read that and was ahead of him to where they got the pin. But then all of a sudden Gunther comes out and he slips up.
And he slips.
And I think it's all part of his plan. He's, Gunther promised him however many weeks, 10 weeks of hell before WrestleMania. Jay didn't ever promise nothing other than, we'll see. And right now, yeah, Gunther, you're getting your hell week, your weeks of hell, but how much of it is actually being given?
Right.
Like, you're getting it, but Jay's not retaliating. He's gotten the upper hand once or twice, but he's not coming at you. He's letting you come to him. And let's face it, like, it's good. It's showing that, yeah. I think he's just getting in Gunther's mind at this point.
All right, so so the Usos ended up taking that match,
which was a very good match.
Yeah, it was.
So
then we move on to,
oh God, this was the part because you see Lyra walking backstage, so then you see Pierce with Mysterio and Dragon Lee. And then they aired the El Grande Americano piece. And that would be hilarious because we're all sitting here speculating. Well, we're not really speculating. We're all here sitting there going, "It's Chad." What if it wasn't Chad? What if it's someone who just looks so similar to Chad but it wasn't Chad? How hilarious would that be?
That'd be hilarious.
But yeah, that clip was very made up, horribly edited together, clearly. Because, highly doubt he worked back in the 1950s and is still around looking as young as he was back then.
Right.
And the fact... after that, it shows Adam, Ray, and Dragon going, "What the hell was that?" And then Chad Gable denied immediately because they're like, "Oh, we know it's Chad." No. And then he states he was too sick to wrestle and gave a doctor's note.
Yeah, it's so funny.
Which then led to Chad suggesting Lee fight Americano. And the fact that Ray called him a jackass. And let's just take a minute here to really give kudos to Pierce. It seemed like he was pretty much fed up by the end of this night with everything, and we'll get further into that one. But he's kind of getting pushed to his limit nowadays.
Yeah, he was pretty.
Yeah. Oh. But after that, it leads to our next match, which was the Intercontinental Women's Championship match. That is a tongue twister. Versus Raquel Rodriguez and Lyra Valkyrie. So what are your thoughts on this one?
I really thought Rodriguez was going to have a shot at winning this. But I was very wrong.
I tell you right now, that big boot off the top rope,
Ooh.
that when Lyra landed, oh, that looked like it hurt. When she jumped off the top rope and Raquel answered with a big boot.
She just booted her.
But let's face it, Raquel had the opportunity. When Liv did nothing. We believe you, Liv. I didn't do anything.
Liv never does
Anywho.
anything.
But she underestimated Lyra's agility. Now, Lyra's used to bigger women in that ring with her. She's not a big girl herself. She's got to depend on her agility. And she did. In that last moment, rolling Raquel into that pin. Raquel couldn't get out.
Well,
I mean, now, I'll state, too, it was a good back and forth. I don't actually agree with this grade here that they've given. I think it was a B match. You know what I'm saying? B minus, B. You know, it was an actual decent match. Raquel and Lyra did actually do very well together, seeing as how I don't think they've ever been in the ring together.
no, I don't think so either.
So they definitely
It's a good match, though.
Oh, this makes me wonder. So this is not to change subject. This is the second time this site said that there was another strange moment when we were supposed to be seeing ads, but we could hear the audio feed from the arena. This is the second time. Now, the question is, though, and I really do want to ask this, is are they watching it after it was already aired? Because, like, when I watch it today, I don't get ads. I get almost like they were going to give me the ad, and then all of a sudden it's right back to the show. And they're acting like nothing happened.
Yeah.
So, you know, to sit here and say they're having issues, it just depends. If, like, let's face it, it aired at, 3 o'clock Monday? Or it was
2
4?
o'clock.
2? So, by the time any of us could have watched it, it could have been later in the day. And if it was already on Netflix, guess what? The ads are gone. It seems like the ads only happen when you're watching it live.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't have brought that up, but this is the second time I'm seeing him talk about that. So I will state that, like, anytime I've watched it, because I will watch it on Wednesdays right before usually we do the podcast, so it's fresh in my head. And I don't get ads. I get like a multi-second blip, like they were going to do the ad, and all of a sudden I'm back. So it just depends on what time you're watching. But
Yeah, they seem to have their...
I wouldn't know because I didn't watch it live, so I was at work.
Yeah, but this one ended with...
An upset.
Rodriguez got beat. I'm pretty sure, didn't they jump Valkyria?
Yeah, Liv jumped in. So what led to the end was Liv grabbed Raquel's foot,
Yeah.
slipped it on the rope. Then Valkyria rolled Raquel up, pinned her, and then Liv was immediately on top of her, beating the shit out of her. And then in came Bailey
Yeah, Bailey came
to save the day. which almost makes me think that Bailey's probably going to get a title shot now.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
All right. But anyway, that was the end of that. Did it lead to anything? Was there anything right after that? Let's see. Hang on. Because this site does not like to say everything that's happening in the back of house.
I don't think they.
Okay, so there's that. But there was another one. Might be after this one. Perhaps.
Which one are you thinking?
The Judgment Day bit. And it had to have happened earlier. Because at some point, Dom talks to Penta before his match. And I'm not seeing that point on here. But there was also things I was going to kind of nitpick that it's with Liv and Finn that almost seemed like she's helped hammering that wedge in by going, I love the guy, but anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. It's so now we're at the bit where we are now finding out what's going to happen with Adam Pearce out in the ring. And let's face it, I'm fairly certain this is what blew his ass over for the night.
Yeah, well, he came out to discuss the contract.
And he did. I mean, let's face it, first statement was, this is for the match versus Bianca and Io. As in, Rhea's name on here is not legit. So he was calling it.
But everyone decided.
Let's come out and talk.
Let's come out. So Io came out first.
Basically said she doesn't care who it is or if it's both of them. She'll take them on. Which, at this point, Rhea, I love you. I will always love you. Bianca, you're awesome. But y'all keep pushing her in the face. She's gonna fucking murder you both.
And then
I'm just saying.
Bianca came out because she took exception to that. She says, I've earned that spot,
Right.
So she's not keen on just all of them fighting.
And Pierce even stated that Rhea's rematch clause was very in effect and that he had been trying to follow up with her for weeks now. But Rhea almost, because Rhea does come out, Rhea almost acted as if there was no conversation about a rematch at all. But with that known, Rhea says, I want my rematch. And Adam goes, okay, then you'll get your rematch. And that's when Bianca tried interrupting again, saying you can wait for 3 fucking weeks and you can fight me after WrestleMania when I win. Which Io didn't like that. You could tell just by the look now. Io's been quiet through this whole point.
But what we ended up with is a rematch next week.
Next Monday. It did end in a brawl after Adam got out of the ring. It also ended because I'm gonna bring this up because reading ahead, they didn't indicate when this happens in the background, but it also points out too, Bianca went to go complain to Adam Pearce about who she's gonna fight at WrestleMania, and Adam said, well, you're gonna be front row to know because you're gonna call that match right down the middle. You're the new ref. Which immediately, if you follow her on TikTok and shit like that, you immediately see a TikTok of her doing a voiceover of Kevin Hart to the referee, the girl referee, basically going, "Help me." And yeah, words you don't say to her, which is just hilarious because she's basically like, "I don't know what to do. Help me.
Help me.
Please." Anyway, like I said, so that happens a little bit. I don't know if it happens later on, like right after Dragon Lee or what. But she does go to him, bitch and complain. And you can kind of see he's kind of fed up with everybody at this point. So he immediately was just like, "Yeah, we're done. You're going to fucking call the match." Which now we're back at where we were. Because the question is she going to do something? Are they going to do something that makes it to where that match does not get called fairly? And Adam goes, "Okay, now it's a triple threat."
I still think, because we're talking about rematches, and Liv still hasn't gotten her rematch. Liv still isn't in WrestleMania. Is she going to insert herself in this shit?
Well, you got to wonder. But right now, until something physically happens, you can apparently do whatever the fuck you want on social media. Just saying.
So,
Because we haven't seen nothing from Jade and Naomi taking a step towards Bianca. Which, I mean, how many more weeks we got? 4?
3.
3? I mean, so a lot can happen in 3 weeks. And we still don't have the main events listed yet.
I still think Liv needs to be inserted into
I
this.
think all of them are going to be, maybe not Jade or Naomi, but I think, like I said, I think we're going to get the triple threat by next week because this has never worked out well, ever, to where something's going to happen to where Bianca gets pulled into it or Bianca pushes into it and she doesn't call it down the middle, or they all end up fighting each other or whatever it is. And then they're going to be like, this wasn't, I bet you anything it'll end with Adam coming out and going, "Okay, y'all want to act like fucking children? Here it is. Thank you. Now it's a triple threat match.
Triple threat.
See you y'all get to be at each other's throat at WrestleMania." Which, let's face it, come Monday, we could see Liv step in too. Who knows? But this did lead to the backstage moment with Jimmy and Jay. Jimmy is sitting there telling his brother, "What's going on, brother? Like you are slipping. This is not the Jay who won the Royal Rumble. This is not the Jay who should be going to WrestleMania. I want to see the Jay that won. I want to see the Jay that can do this." And Jay kind of reacts volatile and goes, "Yeah, I know. Everyone keeps reminding me." And this goes down the path again of all the botches that are happening. But at that point, Jay walks off. Jimmy walks around to where Gunther was, or is, calls out Gunther, says, "Hey, next week, you and me." What does Gunther do? "You? Okay. Just try not to slip like your brother." And what happened? Bitch slap from all hell, red cheek instantly, wham.
Popped him.
That was. Let's put it at the perfect thing, because it wasn't Jimmy taking offense to what he just said. That was big brother coming to little brother's protection and backing him up. So that's what Jimmy's doing here now, is backing Jay up and adding to the story, mind you, because holy shit, even though Gunther walked away smiling, that smack made him think twice, because he was like, "Ooh." Oh shit. Like I think he thought Jimmy did not have the balls to slap him. Which I'll say right now, I'm liking this side of Jimmy. This side of Jimmy is awesome.
That was great.
Which, yeah, it was awesome to watch. So, Now, next week, we get to see Jimmy versus Gunther, and we get to see where that leads. All right. Well, that leads to the Dragon Lee El Grande Americano match. That is a long name.
El Grande Americano.
Oh.
This is a good
Actually,
match.
it really was. I enjoyed this match, and I actually agree with the rating they gave it, which was B+.
That's the thing is, like, I really like Dragon Lee. Like, he is fun to watch.
Well, and that's the thing, too. Like, as we've all determined, this is Chad.
Yeah.
And Chad's always given 110% in his matches. But
I mean, it's clearly Chad because he was doing Chad's moves.
that I could argue to the fact that we watched Kurt Angle be a lucha a few years ago in a full gold suit with a gold mask, and every time he did anything, he'd with his arms, and just you knew who it was, but at the same time, you're like, he's not doing any of Kurt Angle's moves. Where now this one's a lucha, who you're like, oh, we know it's Chad, but he's doing Chad's moves. To where, like I was joking earlier, how funny would it be if it wasn't him?
Really wasn't.
If it really wasn't Chad, if it was someone who just had a similar jawline and physique, be hilarious. It'd be hysterical. But I mean, obviously, we're all pretty much 100% sure it's Chad. Good match though. Did not see the ending coming.
Yeah, he actually unmasked
Dragon
Dragon
Ooh.
Lee. Dragon Lee covered his face.
Which, let's face it, that is one way to put down a lucha.
I mean, but that cost him the match, covering his face.
Yeah, because luchadors don't get unmasked.
Yeah.
There's one luchador who took the unmasking years and years ago, and by his surprise was actually welcomed back with the mask, no problems. And that was Ray.
Yeah, that's right.
He got demasked in WCW, regretted it, didn't think he was ever going to be able to wear his mask again, like the fans wouldn't accept him with it or nothing. Comes to WWE, immediately puts that mask back on, and fans loved him because they knew who he was.
Yeah.
And I mean, don't get me wrong, Ray, awesome win with or without the mask, but he is one of the ones that has been demasked, and it affected his career.
Yeah.
These other guys that are getting demasked and managed covering their face immediately, it's not affecting him. Dragon Lee's going to be in a mask next week. Pissed.
Yeah, he'll be
Pissed.
pissed off now, but he got unmasked. He got put in an ankle lock and had to
Tap out.
tap out.
Oh, the suplex off that.
Oh yeah, off the
Off,
apron.
Yeah.
Those two, like,
See, these guys are saying that the mask was a bit much. But
I think they're just referring to it.
Americano's gear
Its
actually
look.
looks pretty good or cool. But that's the thing. Like, it's supposed to be cheesy. Like, look at Hogan when he was, Captain America or Mr. American or whatever the fuck he was when he came out with basically Captain America's mask. It was meant to, you knew who he was, but he wasn't Hogan. But I'll tell you right now, though, I question whether Dragon's knees are all right. Did you see how he came down and he landed bad? And you could see it because he didn't even go to fake sell or nothing. He just immediately crumbled, grabbing his knee as he was going down. So hopefully he's not hurt. That was a bad moment for him. So, but that led to Americano winning his debut match,
What is debut?
if we want to call it that. Anywho. So at this point, I'm going to bring up, because, again, it's not saying it, Now, it either happened a little earlier than this, like maybe before this match, or it happened before that. Anyway, there was a segment in the backstage with Dom, Liv, Raquel. Well, Liv kind of sitting there telling Dom, you need to take charge. You need to take the reins. Stop letting Finn call everything. And Finn kind of interrupted it. Because she was about to go, I love Finn, but, you know. And then he goes, but what? So it makes you wonder if Liv is really trying to pry them apart. Dismantling, well, let's face it. If we're really still dealing with the Liv Revenge Tour, what group did Rhea help make popular?
Yeah.
The Judgment Day. Since Liv's been a part of it, what isn't very popular? The Judgment Day. And she's putting wedges between all of them to dismantle it. And let's face it, y'all have been sitting there talking about rumors. Is she calling out Dom, and is she going to fucking leave Dom? It's a very good possibility, but at the same time, I don't think that's going to happen. I think she wants to dismantle the group and get Dom and Carlito to go with her under her own flag and banner.
Yeah, I think anyway it goes, Finn's not long for the Judgment Day.
No, I think he's almost done. He's probably going to get the lovely Damian Priest treatment. But let's face it, too, because after this, Dom goes to Penta. Tells Penta, dude, you want to win tonight? You better, choose the Judgment Day. We'll make sure you win. And left it at that. So we had no answers.
Right.
And then we go into CM Punk's promo.
CM Punk's promo.
Which you decided to watch before we got on, so it's fresher in your head, so take it away.
Yeah, it's still fresh in my head.
Wake up! Wake up!
Even. Well, he just calling out
Everybody.
Roman and Seth, But he talked mostly about, he's there for business, where they're getting emotional about it. They're getting upset. And he brought up the point, too, that Roman's seeing that his wise man isn't really just his wise man anymore. Which...
Let's throw this out here, too, because I keep seeing this pop up on my Instagram, and this rumor would be one hell of a fucking twist of a Joker move, which we all know Seth went and portrayed Joker in one of the video shit a year back or so. But I keep seeing Heyman doesn't side with Punk or Reigns, but turns on both of them to side with Seth.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, fuck you. That is a twist I didn't even, it never dawned on me, because Seth is always like, you're not who you used to be, blah, blah, blah. Which, if Seth goes down that road, now he's going to turn out to be like Roman Reigns again. So...
Well, we're going to see.
It's a nitpick that Punk is throwing that out there, too.
They're doing their contract signing on Monday.
Which, didn't he call that one out, saying that he wanted it to happen?
Yeah, he was like...
Goslow. I butchered that name.
He's like, why is everyone booing? Did you want it here? I did, too. And then he calls out those two that they weren't there,
I think it's funny, too. Just talking about CM Punk, if people haven't noticed, I get some people just don't like him from just how he was years ago. I mean, Bryce is one of them. He hates Punk. But compared to how he was years ago when he left this company to how he is now, you can actually, see a difference. Yes, he's being an arrogant prick here in his promos, but you can see a different attitude, a different almost just chemistry and how he is out there. He's full-heartedly, let's push this forward. Let's face it, arrogant Punk from however many years ago would have been like, no, I'm winning the Rumble, period. Fuck you. You know? So,
Well, they're getting their WrestleMania match. It's going to be a good one.
it's not, well, I don't know, he even hinted to, is he getting more at WrestleMania than we don't know about yet? Which, I mean, that could happen. We don't know what's going to happen. You know, the fact of the matter is, I said this. I think I said this last week. What happens if they are coming to the ring and all of a sudden, to Roman and Seth's surprise, it goes for the number one contendership, and then Punk comes out.
Right.
Meaning Punk used his favor, so he's going to get what he wants. Might not be at WrestleMania, but he's going to get what he wants. Which would be insane. Well, that's if he won, too.
Well, we'll know more after Monday.
Monday,
see how
definitely.
their contract signing goes.
It's going to go how it's always been when they're all in the ring. It's going to turn into a huge mosh pit of beatings.
Beat each other. All right, that moves us into the last fight of the night for the Intercontinental title. Braun Breaker and Penta.
Which was a phenomenal match.
It was.
Reading the notes down below, they're saying Breaker could really use some better music. I'm going to call that one out because there's a lot of talk on why he isn't called Braun Steiner. He chose Breaker because he wanted to make his own name. But his tip of the hat to his family is that song. Because if you go listen to Scott Steiner's entrance, it's that fucking siren. The only difference is Steiner goes, holler if you hear me. And then all of a sudden it plays the siren.
Right.
So right there, Braun's just tipping his hat to his family. That's all. Could be a little bit better, but this match, oh man, it's actually the first time I think we could have seen Penta sweat a little bit because, God, there was that point where they were doing the slap exchange or something, and he hit the rope, and then came back and just fucking clotheslined his ass.
It's good to see Penta moving on to this sort of thing where he's in the title matches.
Well, did you hear the rumor after this that it's possibly going to lead to him, Dom, and Braun at WrestleMania in a triple threat, which I'm so for, but this is the way it has to end. Somehow Dom wins, because that would be fucking great. Nothing against Penta or Braun, but that would carry such a bigger story outside of WrestleMania with Penta and the Judgment Day. And let's face it, Dom does accept. He's gotten hella better. He definitely deserves something, even if it's for a month or two. But no, these two definitely brought it. And then, of course, you know, we have Judgment Day deciding to step in. Well, Dom and Carlito deciding to step in to support Penta. And that was the change where Penta started building momentum into the match.
Yeah.
Which, didn't he get his finisher on Braun and Braun jumped out of it? The Eradicator, whatever it's called.
Right.
Oh, which this match was just phenomenally good. I think Oh, there was a couple of turnbuckle moves Penta did. I don't necessarily know the names of them, but there was a couple of... Didn't Braun get his turnbuckle move in? Which was great. But it led to the disqualification. Good old Ray. Hey, Ray, when you tell someone if you join the Judgment Day and they're going to win, it's probably not good to fucking disqualify him. Just saying. Like, he straight up interfered and just attacked.
Yeah. But that's why it's going to lead to other things down the line.
I think so, too.
Because you got a lot going on.
Well, we also have Finn in the mix of it, too. Finn, this is at the point Finn did come out. And he started wailing on Braun as well.
So there's a lot going on. And with the build-up, you know, the next few weeks to WrestleMania, that puts a lot of people into that mix for the Intercontinental Championship, you know.
And during the attack, I don't know if you heard, but Penta was sitting there asking the ref, asking him, what happened? What happened? Ref, what happened? And then he got his answer, and he was looking at Dom like, what the fuck, bro? Like, why did you just cost me my match?
So,
And that's when they handed him the chair, which, let's face it, if you cost me a match, I'm kicking you in the face with a chair, too. I'm sorry, but when you tell me earlier, hey, we'll make sure you win, and then you purposefully just cost me the match, yeah, I'm going to kick you in the face with the chair, too.
yeah, so. But that should be pretty good going forward. Cause
I think we're going to get a lot of good stories going forward out of this. I'm definitely looking forward to the next John Cena promo. And the third week that kid gets put on blast because he's going to bring it up again. Because they're going to blast this kid again this week. I mean, the kid's already come out on socials himself. So they're going to blast this kid this week.
oh, goodness. We definitely have
But it's going to lead to some good storyline. You can definitely see these guys fighting for that main event. Not that Intercontinental... Well, that would be different. The Intercontinental title get a main event instead. That'd be fucking crazy. But no, like, these guys are definitely bringing up the story.
Well,
So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next week with the triple threat, or with the rematch. Well, I'm calling it a triple threat because I'm pretty sure Bianca's going to get involved. Some way, somehow. Forcing Adam's hand to, all right, this is going to be a triple threat match.
it's going to end in disqualification.
If Liv comes out and inserts herself, disqualification. Now all four of them are brawling, and then Adam's going to come out and be like, all right, that's it. Fatal four-way, WrestleMania, all four of you, shut up, get the hell out. Because let's face it, we saw the end of the boiling point that didn't actually mention. Kofi and Xavier decided to come to Adam and in the backstage area and demand a tag team WrestleMania championship match. And he said, had you come to me saying that you two are recognized as some of the best tag team in the industry, that we want a match against the War Raiders next Monday, or to show that we are capable of having said tag team championship match at WrestleMania, let us prove it Monday, then it would have been a different story. And then literally said, until you decide to approach me like that, don't let my door hit you where your ass fucking spreads. He basically, he had enough at that point.
He's had enough, and it's going to get worse.
Adam. And I'll tell you right now, if anyone's sitting there wondering, Nick Aldis has been quiet because he just posted, I don't know how long ago, his X account got hacked, stating do not reply, nothing, ignore it, that WWE is made aware of it. But he is literally posted on Instagram saying his account was hacked, and that he is not the one saying anything. Yep.
Interesting.
This just in, Ric Flair is saying he's going to WrestleMania.
We get old, man. Ric Flair.
Yay!
Woo. Well,
But no, it was a good.
it's a good show.
It was a good story pickup for everybody. Definitely developing the story. We got 3 more weeks, so definitely more story to come.
Well, we're getting a good WrestleMania. I'll tell you what.
Oh, I can't wait. And we better spoil ourselves for WrestleMania. I'm talking we order in pizza, some chicken wings, or handmade pizza, handmade chicken wings. Who gives a fuck? We're treating it like Super Bowl for 2 fucking days.
It's gonna be a good time.
Oh, yeah. Lots of beer. Lots of beer. Still wish I was going. That would have been fun. Even in a nosebleed seat. But nosebleeds are $1,000, so no, I'm good.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us once again. We'll be back in a few days to talk SmackDown and further developments into the road to WrestleMania. And we'll catch you on the next go around.
Yes, have a good night.